Can I monetize even when I have a copyright strike or a community guideline strike? All right, a lot of persons have asked this question. A lot of persons are still thinking, or some have even heard that there are people who monetize even when they had a copyright claim or a copyright strike and so on. And some are afraid to apply when they have copyright strike. All right, in this very video, we are going to be talking about what you should do and whether you should apply when you have a copyright strike and so on. Okay, so first of all, you need to know that in YouTube there are several policies, but they are categorized into copyright policies, community guideline policies, and then the YouTube partnership program policies. All right, now for persons who are not monetized, you operate mainly on the first two categories, which is the copyright policies and the community guideline policies. For the copyright policies, these are issues that have to do with infringement of others' rights, okay, of others' content. This is when you use someone's content without their permission, or even when there is permission but you go beyond what is expected of you. For instance, there are persons who will go and just lift people's video or people's content just the way it is, no editing, nothing at all, and then they'll just go ahead, post it on the platform. You're actually breaching the rights of other persons, okay, and that can actually attract a copyright to your channel. It can attract a copyright to your channel. So copyright is all about you using people's work, whether without their permission or with their permission, because there are some that even when permission is granted, you can't even still use it. All right, so when it comes to copyright, there are different forms it can appear. There's that will just restrict your videos. It will only restrict your videos in certain areas. Some will restrict globally, and then some will even require it to be brought down. More especially that is called the copyright claim. Copyright claim on your content or your video would actually bring down that video to the extent for which the original owner had actually requested YouTube to do so, because persons have gone ahead to do dubious things, such as maybe downloading people's content and then go and upload on the channel and then report the original owner of those content. And because of that, YouTube now gives creators the opportunity to actually request for a check to ensure that people are not using their content. So when persons are running those checks and then they now notice that you are using their content, they will go ahead, before you would do that particular act, they'll go ahead to request that anywhere that content is found, it should be brought down. And in that instance, whenever you upload content that you have not properly edited and it carries this copyright claim, mostly with regards to music, it will be brought down. So in copyright claim, a greater extent of them will be brought down. But for the normal copyright, there are copyrights that is just the copyright. That means you have used a little aspect of it, and in those cases, they may not bring down your video or the post you made. So in that instance, you can actually correct the issue in your YouTube studio. So all you need to do is go to your YouTube studio, go to the options that will be given to you there. Either you remove the music, or you remove the section that is affected, or you edit and so on. Those are some of the things you will see there. When you go to your YouTube studio, you click on that particular video that is carrying the copyright, it will take you there to that option where you will see that place to resolve the issue. Okay, now when it comes to copyright, all right, if it is not a copyright claim, which a copyright claim can lead to you receiving a copyright warning strike. And I know that this copyright warning comes in two forms. There is that is a full-time strike, and then there is that you can actually resolve. All right, now while explaining, just carefully listening through, you get the difference. Now when it is a strike, direct strike, 3 of it is what is required to pull down your account, while the other one, which is just normal warning that say it doesn't affect your channel and so on, in that instance you can be given opportunity for it to be resolved. But when it is a strike and they write the active strike on, all right, in that instance, if you get 2 more to that particular strike that you have been given, your channel will be brought down. It will be deleted out of the YouTube platform. And that's why you need to avoid copyright as much as possible. Try as much as possible to avoid copyright. So in that instance, whenever you have a copyright, what you need to do, there are 2 ways. There are 2 ways you can actually resolve copyright. The first one is for you to appeal, and in most instances you might be wrong, but there are few instances where the copyright was given to you because it's a search engine, and some of the times the search engine might not be totally correct, and in that instance your let's say your content or your video was brought down, it can be restored back. But where there are issues, which 80% of the time there is actually an issue, in that instance you'll be given the opportunity to, if it is not a strike, you will resolve the issue in your YouTube studio. But if it is a strike, you have to wait for 90 days. But before you wait, which is the second option I was talking about, in the second option you'll be given an opportunity to go through a training. So that can only reflect in your YouTube studio, not on the normal mobile this or Android YouTube studio. Is actually on the YouTube studio itself. So you go to your YouTube studio and you take that particular training. It's a series of questions. Some might give you 4 questions, and then some is 7 questions. You just answer it very well, and when you answer it and finish, you allow that strike to go off after 90 days. But if you don't appeal, now for persons, let me do this very fast. For persons who never take this training, or if you want to ask, what if I don't take that training, what is the implication, and so on. Now the thing is that if you take the training and then there is another strike that comes up, it will be counted afresh, not like there is one. But if you don't take the training, anyone that comes again during that particular time will be regarded, it will be counted as the previous one is still counting, and then just like that. But if you take the training, it is now taking you to square zero. Whenever you take that training, it's like you don't have a strike, although you'll be given 90 days for it to go off, but it's like you don't have a strike. That's what the implication for it. So you take the training, after the training, wait for 90 days to clear off your channel. The next type of strike or policy is that of the community guideline policies. Now this one centers around issues around nudity, for instance, harmful post, violent post, post that enhances crime, post that enhances alcoholism, illicit drugs, sex trafficking, and a couple of all those things. So any of those contents that carries things like that, those kind of contents violate the YouTube guideline, the YouTube policies guideline. All right. So in that instance, if you violate any of them, it might attract a warning first, and then if you keep on doing things like that, it will actually attract a full-time strike. It will attract a full-time strike. So you try as much as possible to avoid some of those things. Make reference to the community. Go to the help icon and check for the YouTube community guidelines as it concerns community guideline strike. Go and check it up. There are a couple of them there that you need to avoid. So don't just be posting, because when you have strike, it has a negative impact on the channel. Strikes have negative impact. Some of those are that you may not get visibility again. You may not get visibility, and then your posts may not even be recommended, and so on. So it's good you avoid strike as much as possible. You avoid them. Now for the how do you handle them and so on, it is the same thing as the copyright strike, the same pattern, right? The only thing is that in community guideline strike, you will not go to remove the section. Rather, what will happen is that you will be given the privilege to appeal, or you take a training. Those are the two options for community guideline strike. Whereas in the copyright strike, you can remove the section that is affected. I hope you have learned something there. Now the third one is the YouTube partnership program policies. Now these ones are bulky. They are so much that I can't exhaust. And please, if you are monetized, try as much as possible to read them up. Read them up. They are much. They are much. And in fact, YouTube start monitoring your account so closely once you are monetized, once you become a partner. So try as much as possible to get acquainted with them, because a couple of them, if you violate them, it can actually get you demonetized. And then if you have issues with copyright or the community guideline too, it can also cause your account to be demonetized or even terminated from the YouTube platform. So as much as possible, avoid going to things that YouTube have given a warning for you not to do. Now for persons who are saying, should I go ahead and so on, now this is what happens. You have to pay a close attention to your dashboard. That is the studio.youtube.com. Pay a close, which is the desktop form of studio, desktop studio. Now in this desktop studio, it will give you that privilege to see it in a full glance, how the strike looks like or the warning looks like. Always go every time to check. If you have removed, for instance, the copyright, if you have removed all the earlier copyright restrictions and so on that were given to you, you can have the opportunity or the privilege that some of the copyright warnings may be taken off, and say it was the first one, it can be taken off. Now where the community guideline or the copyright strike is taken off, you can go ahead and apply for monetization. yes, you can go ahead and apply. But where the strike is still showing active strike, please don't even waste your time, because there are 3 times opportunity to apply. First, if you are denied the first one, you have to wait for 30 days, or you apply again, you appeal, or you wait for 30 days. And if after that 30 days, which is 1 month, you are still declined again, you have to wait for 90 days, and just like that. So why going through all this stress when you can just wait, let that strike go off? All right, I believe you have learned something there. Now, there are instances where, as I said earlier, it can be corrected. So what confuses most persons is that you might be seeing the notification and you think the notification is the same thing with where the strike was showing. The strike shows one side and the notification one side. So if the strike itself is no longer showing, where that side that it was showing before, that warning strike or so strike is up, that point, if it is no longer there, it means you no longer have a strike on your channel. That is what it means. It means you no longer have a strike on your channel. So you can go ahead and apply for monetization. That notification, you need to just go and dismiss it. The notification was just that something like this is on your channel, whereas the strike is one side. So I believe you have learned something new there. Now, by way of summary, always check your desktop studio platform. Always check it, and when you check it, you see that that strike is no longer there. Either the period have completed, or YouTube decide to take it off for you. You can go ahead and apply for monetization. But when it is still showing active strike on, don't apply. Don't apply, because your application can be rejected. Don't apply. And if rejected, as I explained earlier, you might have to wait for 30 days or appeal again. And where the appeal is rejected, you have to wait for 90 days and things like that. And at the end of the day, you might find yourself that you may never even get monetized again. And for persons who want to ask, how do I avoid some of these strikes and so on, I will make a separate video for that. I believe that from what I've said earlier, you should have gotten some insight as to things to avoid, but maybe I'll make a detail in several aspects how you can avoid some of this strike. So please, as much as possible, try to avoid the strike, and then stay close. Always check up your studio, including your mail that is sent to you. Some person don't open their email account to check if they have a mail. So please, as much as possible, be checking it up. With that, you'll be staying updated on what is going on your channel. I believe you have learned something new, and if you haven't got any clarity, let me know in the comment box. Maybe I can answer you on the comment box, or I'll have to make another video to explain explicitly, and possibly I can make screenshots so that you can get it better. For now, thank you so much. I believe that you have learned something, and I look forward to that very moment where this channel becomes your most favorite click. If you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button below. Please try as much as possible to always check up for something new on this platform. As I said earlier, this very channel will be giving us things as it concerns health, business, motivational related content, religious related content, academic, and as well as YouTube growth and policies. Thank you so much. Take care. Peace.